त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकञ्चापि नमामि विद्यै। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। Pranams everyone. So this week we will be having each one of you, whoever is willing, whoever is I would encourage every one of you to go through what you have learned so far in Bhagavad Gita. We had covered chapter 13 values, we had covered chapter 16, then chapter 1, 2 and 3. So from there 13 values, Devi Asura Sampat in chapter 16, Arjuna Vishada Yoga in chapter 1, Jnana Yoga in chapter 2 and Karma Yoga in chapter 3. All of them are quite important subject areas, and we need to have it internalized as much as possible. So this sessions hopefully would actually help in that assimilation. So I would like to know who would like to go first in terms of their understanding, sharing their understanding. Okay. Shri Ganapati ji, yes.
Pranam Guruji, I am Ganapati from Mumbai. Myself and my wife Vijayalakshmi both are attending your classes right from beginning.
Okay.
My wife will tell what are the understanding we have so far.
Okay.
My wife will tell.
Okay. If you want to switch on your camera, you can. It's up to you. If you are feeling comfortable, you can do that.
I am Vijayalakshmi from Mumbai.
Namaste.
Pranams Guruji, pranams to everyone. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Upanishads and Vedanta, which has to be learned from a guru who is coming from a parambara. Guru will impart the knowledge to the disciple who has Shraddha in the Shastras. Human form is very rare to get. Guru will guide us how to lead a life and show us how we are related to Ishvara. He will teach us what path we have to follow to reach our goal. In the first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yogam, Arjuna became the slave of his emotions such as attachment, sorrow, delusion, compassion and grief. Due to this, he was put into the state where he could not decide whether to fight or not about the consequences of the war. Thus, Arjuna, being in Raga, Shoga and Moha, was reluctant to fight with Kauravas. And in the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga, Bhagavad Gita is summarized in 72 slokas. The first 10 slokas explain Arjuna's Sharanagati to Bhagavan. The next 29 slokas speak about Jnana Yoga, and next 14 slokas say about Karma Yoga, and 54 to 72 slokas explain the Sthita Prajna Lakshana. And in the second chapter gives us the understanding that we are in samsara, that is Raga, Shoga and Moha. We are covered by Maya Shakti, that is illusion, which make us to not recognize the knowledge of the self. Shraddha without Mamakara and Ahankara will make ourselves a right Shishya, which will make Bhagavan to take us to the right Guru. None of our problems can be resolved by material accomplishments. There are 4 Ds, that is discrimination, dispassion, desire for Yogavastu and discipline, which are otherwise known as Viveka, Vairagya, Mummuchatvam and Shatka Sampatti, will make us realize about where we are and what is our problem. The important qualification for any learning is to be in Sattva Guna and not in Rajas and Tamas, which is to be in the mode of goodness and not in the mode of passion and ignorance. By surrendering to Bhagavan will give us Atma Jnana through our sadhanas. To remove Arjuna's sorrow and grief, Bhagavan explains Arjuna why he should do the war through the explanations given in the Atma and Atma principles as well as Dharma Dharma standpoint. Bhagavan is giving Arjuna the knowledge that Atma is Nityaka, that is eternal, and Satyaka, that is its existence is independent, Sharvagadaga, that is all pervading, Aprameyaka, that is never the experienced subject nor the object, Akarta, that is neither the doer, Apokta nor the enjoyer, Nirvikaraka, that is changeless, Avinashi, that is imperishable. So, Atma can never be killed and only the body gets killed. There is no way that we can come out of death. From Dharma Adharma angle, Bhagavan asks Arjuna to do the war as it is his swadharma, that is his duty, being a Kshatriya who has to uphold the Dharma. Bhagavan says, there is no existence for Asat, that is unreal, and there is no non-existence for Sat, that is real. It is in Tamil, இல்லாததற்கு இருப்பது என்பது இல்லை, மேலும் உண்மையாக இருப்பதற்கு இல்லாமை என்பதும் இல்லை. After this, Bhagavan is giving the essence of Karma Yoga, glorifying its greatness. This is explained in this sloka, Karmanyevadi karaste ma phaleshu katachana ma karma phalahedur gurmate sangostva karmani. That is, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruit of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. Thus, one has the choice over actions but not in the result. So, do not get attached to inaction. Karma by nature binds us and Karma Yoga liberates us. The goal of Jivatma through Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga sadhanas is to attain moksha. The 3 steps to jnana are Shravanam, that is hearing or listening, Mananam, that is reflection or contemplation, Nididhyasanam, that is deep and sustained meditation of what we learnt. Shravanam is the sadhana to get liberation. Sastra Shravanam is moksha sadhanam. Finally, Bhagavan explains about Sthita Prajna Lakshana, that is Jnani's Lakshana. Jnani is the one who is satisfied in the self. He will be happy with himself. Jnani does not have any binding desires and has a equanimous mind, and through regulated mind control, that is Shamaha, and sense control, that is Damaha, he will come to Jnana Nishtha stage and attains Atma Jnana. Thus, the second chapter explains the importance of doing one's duty without any attachment and detachment from the results of action. It also emphasizes the importance of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And in the third chapter, Bhagavan explains to Arjuna that Karma Yoga is incomplete without Jnana Yoga and Jnana Yoga is impossible without Karma Yoga. He further clarifies Arjuna by saying Karma Yoga is a necessary step by which we do all our actions and come to Jnana Yoga to reach the final step, to reach moksha. No one, even for a moment, can never remain without action. The actions bind everyone. Actions performed for the sake of Ishvara, who has given lots of comforts more than what we deserve, with right attitude of considering ourselves as dasa, will not bind us. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaka, that is, protected dharma protect us. Paropakaraya idam shariram. We are here to help others. Samatvam yogam uchyate. Equanimity is the best to practice. By taking all these principles, we have to do Panchamaka Yajnam, that is Deva, Pitru, Rishi, Manusha, Buddha. And Sadhana Panchakam, that is to read, eat, see, mind and sense organ discipline, by which we can get Siddha Shuddhi, that is mental purification, and Jnana, knowledge of the self. Finally, Moksha is attained. In another sloka, Bhagavan says, Mai Sharvani Karmani Sanyasya Yatma Chetasa Nirashir Nirmamo Bhutva Yudhyasva Vigadajwaraka. By explaining essence of Karma Yoga, Bhagavan asks Arjuna, Swadharmam Kuru, whose first duty is to fight. People who follow Dharma path with Shraddha and faith in teachings given by Bhagavan in the Vedas will get the benefit of Karma Yoga, which are the purification of mind, peace and calmness, which can't be measured by us. People finding fault with others and self-praise and having jealous will not be able to enjoy success. People who do not follow Karma Yoga will be completely deluded and doomed, who are like the boat with anchor fixed to one place. So we must have Ishvara Arpana Buddhi and Prasada Buddhi. Why not every human or living being live by Karma Yoga and follow Dharma? Everyone behave according to their nature, that is Swabhava or Guna or character. Vasanas, tendencies that come from previous lives, Papa Punya Samskaras, Dharma Adharma impressions from Prakriti, Antakarna, Purva Janma Krita Dharma Adharma actions decides our Guna or Swabhava, which is called Prakriti by Bhagavan, which cannot be changed. One should do one's duty by following Dharma. Doing Swadharma with shortcomings is superior than perfectly done Parodharma, that is others' duty. 3 roads to hell are desire, anger and greed. Intellect covered by desire will lose discriminating power, that is its Viveka Shakti. So, Jnani sees desire as the Nitya Vairi. The desire is the enemy within you. Desires are insatiable. No end to our desires. 3 bases of desire are sense organs, mind and our intellect. By following Dhamaka, that is Indriya control, and Shamaka, mind control, desire will come down. Root cause of desire is Ajnana, that is ignorance of Atma, Atma Abhimanam and Apurnatvam. Atma Jnana is the right way to remove the desires. Jnani has no desire and is in Puranatvam. Bhagavan through Panchakosha Viveka or Shariratraya Viveka gives Atma Jnanam to Arjuna. Atma is Sachit Ananda. Atma is awareness, conscious, existence and bliss principles. Atma is never seen, never be experienced and its existence is never be questioned. It is clear from photograph and camera example. Atma is different from Anatma. Thus, explaining the intricacies of Atma Jnanam, Bhagavan advises Arjuna to conquer his desire. This is my understanding so far. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Really very well presented. I think every major point has been covered, and also you have clearly structured it as well. Very well done. There is no misunderstanding that I could see.
Thank you, Pranam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who would like to go next? Okay, maybe I should ask who has come prepared for today's, because I know some of you may not be prepared for today. Just want to know whether there is anybody else who has got prepared for the day.
Pranam Balaji. I mean, I'm not as prepared and as structured as Vijayalakshmi ji was, but I would probably say a few things, and pretty much I totally agree that Vijayalakshmi ji has covered pretty much everything, but maybe in not the structured form, in my basic understanding form. I also felt like the values are very important. We should begin with understanding of the values, strive to incorporate those values in our life, and if we have the values, a lot of the thoughts and understandings get clear. If we have a clear idea of what Vairagya is, what Viveka is, what fearlessness being means. Like, I remember still that in your class you said 95% of our time it's just a fear of things. It doesn't normally happen, and we are just worried about things. So all those things that we should have the right values in us to progress is very important. Intent is very important, not just the actions. And the examples I really remember are pretty much like a doctor cutting to save someone a limb versus somebody else doing it for something else. So it's not just the actions. If your intents, which come out through your thoughts, words, and actions, are pure, then that is what is essential for us. Karma, we should do actions, we should do according to the pure intents, whatever we want to do in our life, and that will give the outcomes. We don't have to worry about whether the outcome is favorable to the action that I have done today, because outcomes are a mix or a balance of lots of things, lots of janmas, lots of vasanas, lots of things that have happened. We should keep our pure intent and keep on working. Faith in God helps there, because agar vishwas hai, तो then you are much more, you know कि it is all happening and Krishna is there to help you and guide you, and he will tell you the right things. In Vairagya is very essential as a quality, and we have understood it very wrongly in multiple ways. But pretty much it's not about detachment, is not like you are not concerned about anybody and so you become arrogant. It's about you are not doing because of an expectation of a result. You are doing things because of your kind values or the values that you have. And when that happens, then you do things in a much better way. So, and karma yoga is pretty much do your actions, and it just inculcates in the same way for me, that you just keep on doing your actions and don't worry about the results. Just do every action as doing for Krishna, as Krishna Arpan, and then you don't incur the papa and punya out of it. So your desires go away of having that papa and punya, and if you can reach that level of not even having a desire of a punya out of your action, then probably most of your desires in life will go away, because you accept everything that comes as an outcome, and you accept everything that is coming in your life. And Jnana Yoga, obviously, there is the rituals and the steps that are defined for us to do are for us to take us from A to B. They are to set us. I mean, we have heard multiple times, Jnani does not need to do things in the same way or the steps of puja or whatever that we need to do, and that is pretty much because then the intent is pure, and these actions have been defined to us and told to us to reach that level. Once you reach the level, everything is pure. So it is, for me, the basic things that I have learned and that has changed my life is inculcate the good values and have a good intention and a lot of faith in Krishna that whatever the results will be, he knows it better than I know. Just do them, whatever the result is. You never know, and you never know what you see today is the good thing. Like maybe what you think today is not the good is actually best for you in future. So that faith, do with purity, do with intent, do what you think right in life is all that I've learned from these classes and assimilated.
Thank you, Kanchanji. Very well put. Especially the point around, the desire to even gain punya should be removed. That's actually, that's the highest form of being desireless, in the state of desirelessness. Because initially we would all be having lots of desires in our life. There's nothing wrong in having desires, though. The only thing is that we will have to start moderating it, and try to only focus on desires would not help us gain spiritually. Very well put. I mean, you covered the aspects around Karma Yoga in terms of what should be the attitude in terms of performing action. So that's very well put. And of course, the focus on values are very important. We all start with values first as we go up the spiritual ladder. Okay, thank you. Who would like to go next? So as I said, I mean, I just want to know if anybody has come prepared for the class today, or if you are prepared, if you are going to get prepared for the next class. Maybe I should have asked this in the WhatsApp group itself, but maybe I can find out. Ashish ji, Karthik ji, Venugopal ji.
Yeah, I am in the mode of preparation. So if I answer it, I will be giving a little bit half baked here.
Okay, you want to go next week?
Yeah, I would like to go next week. It will be a little more paraphrased in terms of my thoughts. I am halfway, so I don't know. If there are no other speakers, maybe I will speak my mind. But if not, then I will reserve it for next week.
Okay.
Pranam, Guruji, actually. So, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Actually, primary point I want to say is the one on Ishwararpanam and taking whatever comes as Ishwara Prasada. This is the thing that has given some solace to me over the things. I would like to give a more detailed and structured thing maybe next week because I haven't done real preparation with notes in hand, which I would like to do justice to this structure. So that is I think. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. Ashish. I would not say that I am prepared, but I cannot say that I am unprepared as well. Because the topic being my learnings from the 5 chapters that have been done so far. Apart from the fundamental fact that one of the chapters encapsulates the entire learning, and the other 4 also, kind of ground you in some of the very basic tenets of embracing the philosophy and learning how to inculcate in your day-to-day activities and improving yourself, or maybe moving yourself, not improving. I think improving is again a wrong term in my mind. It's more about moving yourself on the path that you have chosen for yourself. So I have been trying to learn from all of these, but I kind of feel trapped all the time. I think it establishes some of the very basic tenets, but some of those very basic tenets are still so difficult to implement in my life that I keep finding myself a bit lost from time to time. Not a bit, actually. I find myself lost all the time. For example, the very basic thing of being able to control your desires. I have gone through phases. I mean, I have gone through these sessions with you now for a little over, I think now 5 years. Slightly less than, I think maybe. Yeah, slightly less than 5 years. But in that period, I have moved through them in maybe able to identify that I have started controlling maybe 1 or 2 of my desires, but then some other desire becomes much more strong than the other one. And then I have been trying to control that desire, and the old one pops up, 3-4 years down the line again, as something central to me. So it has been a struggle in these 5 years to implement it in that basic fashion of controlling my desire itself. I've tried to implement it in terms of my anger and, show the ability to control it more and more as time passes, at least as an outcome. But but the problem is, again, there is a target that I've set for myself, and that itself, as we all know, that target is not good. What is really good is the intent on achieving the goal, and despite the intent, the goal seems still as far as it was earlier on the anger front as well. So just to put it in a, I don't know, maybe a very contrarian way compared to everyone else, it is still a struggle for me, as much a struggle as probably it was 5 years back. Targets keep moving, objectives keep shifting, understanding existing in a fundamental way, but I don't know, due to the fact, and this is, maybe I'm finding an excuse, or maybe I'm not willing to acknowledge my own shortcoming or my own understanding, but I have a feeling that I do not tend to remember a lot of these terms, for example, right? I do not remember them. And is it because I try to just dig deeper to the value, the purpose, the fundamental rather than the technical term? Or is it that it is an excuse for me to stay away from that? I don't know. But that's my frank thought, still lost, still trying to find my way. Need to show more commitment. I mean, that lost phase has resulted in probably the last 6 months. In the whole span of 5 years, the last 6 months have probably been when I have devoted the least amount of time to this journey. I don't know why, but I think last 6 to 8 months, I have not really given enough to deepen it within me, and I'm sure I need to find the strength within me to come back on track on that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share. I will see if I can prepare a more structured thought process around the 5 chapters and come up with something next week, but I'm not 100% sure that I'll get there. Knowing my current state of mind, I'm not 100% sure that I can actually reach that, but I'll try. I'll definitely try and see if I can get to some place. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Ashish ji. I think, did we start this journey somewhere in 2019 or 18? I remember in Aquarius, but so it's kind of more than 5 years, I believe. So, but
yeah, I think it was just before COVID lockdown actually struck us.
Correct.
So I think it was November or December of 2019.
Okay. So yeah. But Ashish ji, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Take your time. Don't get stressed on this. It's not that we need to actually remove all desires. Desires will not go overnight, and not that we need to remove all the desires also. We talked about the 3 types of desires. Certain desires take their own time to actually leave us. So don't stress upon it. Just ensure that you are in satsang as much as possible, so that you are in a state of motion. Yeah, as you said, you have to keep moving. So that's all.
Hari Om Balaji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om everyone. Yes, mine is also like what I'm going to say is in line with what Ashish ji said, because I have not been very long in this. I think for the last 2 years I've been attending, and sometimes it has been interrupted by travel and other things. But in fact, more than understanding, this journey has raised a lot of questions within me. But what I found helpful, there are 3 things which I found very helpful. One is that all our sorrows, the emotions we experience are all, as a result of desire. So there is more, I introspect a lot more when I am experiencing frustration or anger or any kind of emotion, and I go back to like, okay, where is this coming from? What desire can I link this to? And it is actually helping me a lot in understanding myself and also dealing with that particular emotion, because I understand that that desire is something which has to be addressed and not the emotion itself. That is my perspective. The second thing is about Swadharma and Paradharma. I have always found it a very, even though I have risen up a lot in leadership, but one of the challenges I've always had is in delegation, and people keep saying that you work hard, but you need to work smarter. Not to me in general, that keep saying, but I, even in the simplest of ways, if you interpret it, I interpreted it this way, and it actually helped me. That a task which is meant to be done by somebody else, if they are not doing it and you are trying to do it for them, what happens is, even if you can do it better than they do, a lot of your own work gets neglected. I was trying to apply it to myself that way, and I found that when that understanding came, and I'm improving, I can say, in the way I am delegating things and holding people accountable. I don't know if it's a very simplistic interpretation of that, but that is the way I could apply it to my immediate environment, my work environment especially. But the one which I always have a problem with, because I have heard this, Krishna, when you talk about Krishnarpanam or Ishwararpanam, like surrender everything, every action of yours, you don't have to take ownership of it. It is about, everything. It's even the reason you did something is because, it is also God's will. But then that has always troubled me. Is it an escapist way of looking at things? And so you drop the responsibility of having committed that action. So that is something which I always have trouble with. It is easy to say that, okay, I did this thing, but that was also God's will. So that is something which I'm always struggling with. So basically, that's my submission. These are 3 areas which I can talk about. But yes, not a structured response, but my takes. I am finding these classes extremely helpful to my personal growth. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much. Your points, especially around the desire, you can always go back and identify what could be the root cause of any kind of an emotion, and it would probably end up in somewhere in desire, is very true, especially around the negative emotions if we face, whether it is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, it all starts from kama only. So as I said, desire, fulfilled desire becomes greed, unfulfilled desire becomes anger. Sometimes unfulfilled desire can also lead to fear. So the desire is probably the root cause of any kind of frustration or depression that we are facing mostly in life. That's a very good point that you made. The second point around delegation, paradharma, that is also very true. I mean, if we pick up others' duties, we might do it better, but we may at the end lose doing what we are supposed to do. But the point around the last point that you mentioned, around Ishwararpanam, you are having some doubts. Is that so? What did you say? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. I feel, where do we, how do we take responsibility for our own actions? If we say that everything is, surrendered to God, yes, do everything in the name of God, and whatever your actions are, but sometimes we have a lot of things on our, so where does this conscience come from? And, that you have done, committed some sins or done some things wrong, even simple things as, getting unnecessarily angry with your children, or maybe hitting them, or, some kind of a verbal, or, a lot of things that we do. So how should we not take responsibility for them? Is it not, putting everything, oh, it happened because it was God's will. I have a little problem with that, so where is our own personal responsibility?
Okay. I think good question. I think there are 3 points that are coming in actually. One is Ishwararpanam, dedicating whatever our actions to God. That is one thing. The other thing that you are touching upon is probably whether it is fate or free will, whether it is actually, it is bound to happen and therefore it is happening and therefore it is not my responsibility. That is fate or destiny, as whatever we call. And then whether there should be whether there is something called free will in our lives. So the thing is, when we are talking about, we'll take one by one. When we talk about Ishwararpanam, we are talking about our duties, that whatever we are supposed to do, we have to do an Ishwararpanam of our duties. It's only for the duties that we are saying do a Ishwararpanam. The reason why we are saying duties for Ishwararpanam is, in everybody's lives there are always duties that we like, there are certain duties that we don't like. And we always tend to do what we like, and we always try to procrastinate or avoid or give a reason why we should not be doing the duties that we do not like. And why do we not like those duties? Because it could be that the person for whom we are actually doing this duty, we do not like them, or the action itself is very tedious and we are lazy, or the person does not show gratitude back, or we do not get anything in return out of it, and therefore we try to ignore or procrastinate or avoid those duties. So only in that case we are saying, Bhagavan is saying, do Ishwararpanam. The reason is, then you would, because you are doing it for Bhagavan, you will do it irrespective of whether you like it or not, rather you will start liking it. And also, because you are doing it for Bhagavan, you would not expect anything in return, otherwise, or whatever you get in return, we would be able to take it as a prasada, rather than trying to see whether this person is able to give me back what he is supposed to do as his duty towards me, or whether he or she is at least showing gratitude. So we will not actually look for those things. So that's the Ishvara Arpana concept. With regards to what is fate and what is free will, we do have a free will. Every action, today we had a free will whether to attend this class or not. Today we have a free will whether we want to speak or not. Every one of us have a free will. The question though is, what becomes then destiny is the circumstances which is beyond your control are all destiny. You want to attend the class, somebody comes in, or there is a call that you need to go out urgently, that's fate. If somebody is at home, somebody comes at home, you are not able to attend this call, or even when you are halfway through, there's something happens, you need to actually drop off, that's all fate. Now fate is and anything that has happened in the past, it is better to attribute it to fate. And in any case, what is fate? Fate is nothing but the results of our actions done in the past. Our actions done in the past will result in today's fate. So anything that we do today becomes our destiny in future. So in effect, there is nothing called destiny other than what I do. The results of my action becomes destiny. So there is no point in saying it is Ishvara's will. The reason why we say Ishvara's will is for us to actually accept it better. If we are really rational about things, then we should say everything that happens in my life is all the results of my actions of the past. That's the ultimate responsibility that one should be able to take. Now we do not have that level of maturity, and we do not know what sort of actions we have done in the past lives. And we believe that we were all good people, we were all nice people, and there is nothing that we have done wrong in this life or in the previous lives, and everything that comes in this life is because of somebody else's actions. To remove that, initially to take ownership will be difficult, and therefore we say it is all Ishvara's will. What is Ishvara's will? Ishvara's will is, Ishvara is karma paladata, so he basically gives the results of whatever actions that we had done in the past. That's all. That's why we say it's Ishvara's will. But otherwise, it's all our responsibility only. I hope that clarifies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to go next?
Well, Balaji, good afternoon, everyone. Gurubhyo Namaha.
Shri Gurubhyo.
I'm a very late entrant, hardly around 6 to 8 weeks. Probably I would have attended your classes. But I have a few points to make. For me, I look at as a human being, this is a very good opportunity for us to see how we can move towards liberation, moksha, and in that direction, probably spirituality and material life goes together, both as two wings of a bird. You can, if you want to be grahasthan, you cannot be without a material thing, because you have the responsibility towards your family, your society, your community. So for that you need to have a material life. But apart from that, if you want to use this human life in a very sensible manner, not losing the opportunity of moving towards moksha and no more rebirth, then probably you have to start your spirituality. If someone starts at a very early age, that's great. But even if at the later stage also you can catch up. Other than that, I would like to say is that about desires, material life does have desires. Similarly, spiritually also you should have desire. So for me, desires go common to both, but a desire to only take care of fulfilling your responsibility is the limited desire that we should have, because the more desire we have, the more we will move away from spirituality and move towards materiality. So whatever is required for discharging our duties, to that extent we should have our desire. As far as expectations are concerned, we should not have any expectations apart from on our oneself, that our expectation is to fulfill our duties to the best possible manner, to the satisfaction of all, as far as expectations are concerned. Attachment is something where I feel that you should have a detached attachment. Normally, duty and love goes together. So when there is an attachment, you will always feel that the result of the other person is binding on you. Like if you say your son is doing well, he has done very well, scored high marks, that is attachment with that result. But someone next door, if he doesn't do well, you are not really bothered. So what I feel is that, as we say that it's all Ishvara Arpanam, even when your own attached people are not performing well, like you have to that extent possibly a limited control over it. The results are there, but you may want to have very good results for everyone, everything, but then at the end of the day, it's all Ishvara Arpanam. Each one has to go through their karma, and when each one have to go through their karma, it's all interrelated and interlinked with all of us. Like I think this group itself formed 5-6 years back, and today, when after 2 months after I am joining, I feel this group has a link somewhere to be formed together. So similarly, even your family or your community or society in which you move, there is an interlink from the past life. And as recently Balaji just talked about the past, I think we have to look at the future, about what we are going to do from today onwards to be able to move in a more possible, positive mental frame of mind and move towards our goal. The goal and the purpose of this life is very, very important. And we cannot rectify the past. We have to live it for the God based on our future actions to help us remove them and look at it from positive manner. Ego is something you have to really leave it at a distance, maybe in Himalaya, just to for a distance sake. Don't carry any ego and be weightless. So that will help you to be on the down to earth. And finally, zero. You have to be feeling as living dead. Means if a dead person is there, they will not know what's happening, what's happening around them. Even if someone pulls them, even something is done. So you have to start slowly moving towards a living dead where whatever noise is around you, you will always feel that you are detached from them. No, it doesn't really bother you. It really doesn't affect you. And that's the way how you can keep moving. And this is something I thought, Balaji, I will share it. Sorry, I have not structured it, but some of the key points I thought I can share. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Krishnanji. Thank you. Good points around, having a detached life. In the sense, it's one of the very difficult things to get detached. But it's a valid. It should be the way to move forward. Some people do get this misunderstanding that detachment is as good as indifference. Detachment and indifference are different. Detachment means, one, you can love a person but without any kind of expectation in return. That's the unconditional love is what is prescribed by Shastras. Wherever it is conditional love, it becomes under attachment. And attachment is what we have to avoid. Bhanumati ji, yes. Ashish ji, Bhanumati ji, you want to go first? Yeah.
Yes. These classes are really awesome, Balaji. And many classes I would have missed, but whatever I have missed, some I have heard the listening recordings also. It is good actually, and many points I have learned from this. Whatever is happening, that is God's will, and I'm telling my friends, my children, whoever I'm meeting, everything is God's wish. Nothing is in our hand. So this Krishnarpanam is the best word in the world, I can say. And then as you said in the Karma Yoga 3rd chapter, desires are the main culprit for everything. So one by one I am also inculcating in my life, so that I should not have any desires, like material desires. And it is very good that classes are very good. That's what I wanted to tell. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bhanumati ji. Ashish ji, yes.
Sorry, I wanted to just take the argument, sorry, wrong term. I want to just clarify a little bit with you around this issue. And I know I've asked this question probably a couple of times earlier in the last 5-6 years. This whole concept of, detachment versus desire is so difficult for me to actually get my arms around. That selfless attachment, or outcome neutral attachment versus then the desire that it creates to do good, right? So yes, I may not look for an outcome, but if my action is governed by the fact that, for a simple stuff, very simple thing, my love for doing well in my job, if it is driving my action, hasn't it right at the beginning itself created an outcome orientation, a result orientation? And hence it is not a selfless action, it is not an akarma. So I'm still in the cycle, So in trying to complete, the reason why I'm asking this is because in trying to complete your responsibilities, which you should be doing as per Dharma, when you are trying to do your responsibilities well, you are indeed continuing to remain in the cycle of karma, because there is an outcome orientation, there is a result orientation. And hence you're not really elevating yourself to a different level. You're still stuck in that, right?
Okay, good point. Probably, Lataji, I think we'll have to take yours next week, because I think we'll just discuss Ashishji's point. Unless you have a point to make, then on this same subject you can. But I would want to sort of discuss on Ashishji's point now. So Ashishji, first of all, there's no outcome-based attachment. I thought I heard something like that. Attachment is where I have an expectation. That is, a love with expectation or a desire with expectation is attachment. That's first thing. So, and then desires are of three types. We all know tamasic desires, rajasic desires, sattvic desires. Tamasic desires are those desires that are spiritually prohibited. They're desires where we actually desire for somebody else's failure or somebody else's problems to come, and anything that will drag us down spiritually, anything that will actually those desires that are prohibited by the Shastras. Those are tamasic desires. Then you have rajasic desires. Rajasic desires are selfish desires there where I want to do well for myself, for my family, for everything that is related to me. So those are rajasic desires. And then you have sattvic desires there where your desires are for either the welfare of the society, well-being of the society, or for spiritual growth. So where technically, normally speaking, sattvic desires, there is no much expectations. The moment you have an expectation around a sattvic desire, say for example, there is a sattvic desire of me wishing to do, say, construct a pond. I want to construct a pond, but for the village. Then you start it, but then you think that nobody is giving me the attention, nobody is praising me, nobody is giving me naming this pond in my name. Then it becomes immediately rajasic desires. It doesn't become sattvic. Sattvic desires are desires for the welfare of the society or welfare of others without having any expectation in the back. Now coming back to this example of your office, when you have this desire to do well, Bhagavan says the action cannot be changed. Everybody who goes to the work will have to do their action. Now the question is, without changing the action, how can you convert that from something that can make you binding to something that can actually liberate you? How can you actually convert that? It is a question of attitude. So instead of thinking that I have to do well because only then I will get my promotion, I will get my bonus, I will be able to live a better life, from that attitude, if we change, okay, I want to do well because this is where God has placed me and I have a responsibility towards this position. This company's roles and responsibilities are such that I have to deliver this. It doesn't matter. Given this responsibility, I will do it. Whether it succeeds or not, I will ensure that I do the best for this particular position, then it is the same job, just the attitude difference. One is karma, the other becomes karma yoga. And that karma yoga, karma becomes, you will incur papa punya. Karma yoga, you will not incur papa punya. The moment you change the attitude, there is no papa or punya for that particular activity. You are doing it because this is your responsibility. You are doing it to the best of your responsibility. Whether somebody praises you or somebody criticizes you, doesn't matter. You will do what you are supposed to do. This is the subtle difference. I can actually discuss more, but there are two people who still put their hands on, and we have only 3 minutes. So, Lataji first. You want to discuss on the same point?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, how do you? No, not really. Actually, I was going to be in line because, but like many of the others, I've not really prepared to go through. I thought we were supposed to internalize chapter 3 only, but I noticed Vijayalakshmi ji was really very. There's no way I can compete. There's no way that I can.
There's no competition here. There's no competition here.
Okay, sure. So what I've just got 3 points only. I'll do it I'll just
maybe you got to do it next class because we got only a couple of minutes and this will go down.
Sure.
Kanchaji, you have something to say on the same point?
Yes, I was just saying, can we also see it that I'm doing what I'm doing because it comes out of my value to do the best in whatever I do?
Yeah. This is the. Yeah, you can say that. But the moment you say, I am doing it for Ishvara, then what happens is the prasada will automatically come. So everything that comes out of the results, you would take it as prasada. The moment you say, I am doing it for Ishvara, the advantage is acceptance of the result becomes easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Ashishji, I don't know whether I was able to cover, but maybe we can do a slightly longer one next class.
I mean, look, I've heard these responses. As I said, this is my internal struggle, my internal journey. I hope that I'm able to take care of this confusion sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the explanation again. Thank you.
Thank you. So we will we'll again do the next class, and then in the next session again we will have some sharing sessions. If you are interested, you can actually put it on the WhatsApp group itself what you would want to cover about, and I would want everybody to participate as much as possible. We will close for today. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Hari Om.